Talk to me, baby. Off Work Sports. We come back to the east side. The East, the Big East. And Boston Celtics come into play. Not the first, not the last, maybe mid to last. I'm taking care of them at the last brunt of options. I got to talk about the Celtics. I hate to say, when the New Jersey Nets were the New Jersey Nets, I was a long time New Jersey Nets fan, and the Nets and the Boston Celtics had beef, and so I'm kind of partial, and I'm always going to be rude when I see that Celtic green. But let's get into it. They're still a special team. It's the green that I don't like, but the players I love. Let's get into what's going to happen this year for the Boston Celtics. And number one, the X-Man you got to worry about. You got to think about. Over from Charlotte, probably one of the top 4 guards in the NBA. Kemba Walker comes over. What a trade in this or what a pickup in this offseason of Kemba Walker. Obviously, he's going to be a focal point. You can see their record, 2-1. Some of the people that I talked to on the subscriber base said, you know what, you could do a review up until 10 games, to be honest with you. And you're right? The season just started. So Kemba Walker's the guy. He's the main guy. He's going to have to give job 25 plus per game when it comes around February, okay? They lost Al Horford. They lose Kyrie Irving, right? And they lose Terry Rozier. So big losses for this team. However, it now gives the opportunity for some other players who should be borderline all-stars, as I mentioned in my other reviews, to step up to the plate and make something happen. So Kemba's in there. Let's get in next. Who's going to be the next guy that they're going to rely on from an all-around perspective? I mean, when you are a X-Men, you got to do a lot of things. You can't just be one-dimensional. And the guy that comes to mind immediately for me is not Jaylen Brown. It is. Oh, you see me pointing at Jason Tatum, right? It's not him either. But it's going to have to be, right? Jason Tatum comes into play. I was going to get in Gordon Hayward, but Jason Tatum is the guy behind the mirror who they're going to have to rely on to make things happen for this team. An exceptional talent. Tatum plays oblivion of roles on this squad, and he's going to have to be now. He admired Kobe. He watched Paul Pierce. He's going to have to be that type of player in this future of the Boston Celtics when they are trying to make a championship run. Tatum comes off I would call, should I say sophomore slump? I don't want to call it that, but it was an iffy season. Positional issues. Gordon Hayward came back. There were so many different things. Kyrie Irving really demands the ball. He's with another guy that demands the ball as well. But Jason Tatum comes in as a surefire prospect who's going to have to light it up for this team in order for them to be successful. Now, next up, as we look at these squads, I got to put it to heart. Gordon Hayward is going to have to be a special talent for this team, okay? Gordon Hayward now has the opportunity to step up. They have a bevy of small forwards on this team, or forwards if you want to call it that. Gordon Hayward, now, expectation, he's going to be recovered enough from that horrible leg injury to get back into the Gordon Hayward form. We're starting to see that a little bit. And I think by January, February of next year, barring no injury, we will have the Hayward of the Utah Jazz in full form. It takes time for that leg injury to heal. So it's going to be exciting to see him back in full form and what he can do as a duo, as a trio with Mr. Jason Tatum from a scoring and rebound perspective. Now, as we simp on, right, they lost Al Horford, but did they gain anything back? Did anyone jump out to you as possibly being able to take over that responsibility of the Al Horford, or a combination of those guys to be able to succinctly match up for the points and rebounds that you lost? They went out and got Enes Kanter. From an inside perspective, in my opinion, they're almost equal, okay? That's my opinion. Enes Kanter and Al Horford are almost equal from an inside perspective. Matter of fact, one of the top rebounders, offensive rebounders in the NBA the last couple of years per minute has been Enes Kanter. They may have upgraded in that position. All right, let's go through and look at who else is out there on this squad. And I want to get inside, and I want to talk about Mr. Where's my big long Robert Williams, okay? Robert Williams, why do they keep listing? He's listed as 6'8". He doesn't look like a 6'8" to me. He has such long arms. Okay? He's probably a 6'11" player, extreme leaping ability. I think they upgraded here from a defensive position. Now, you can't put both of those guys on the floor at the same time, obviously. So I can't really call it and go, okay, so expectation is to have Rob Williams and his counter is one player, and so they're going to be in at separate times doing different things. But Rob Williams can fulfill the defensive capabilities that they're looking for. Let me tell you something where they upgraded, even though they lost Mr. Kyrie Irving. This team is scary. You know why they're scary? I'm going to give you two reasons why. I'm going to go into the draft pick. So we got the centers, and I think they need some help there, but I'm going to get into the bruises and why they can facilitate some of the losses with the outside shooting that Al Horford had with some of the multi-role big body players that they have. I'm going to get into that in a second. But let's get into the guard play that they have here. Obviously, they're heavy in the forward position. But then when you look at this team and look at the guards that they were able to get in the draft, it is almost, you got to be a super enthusiast and really, really on your humdrum to be happy. God darn it. I mean, Romeo Langford, great pick. Okay, then they went out and drafted Carson Edwards, who again, All 4 Sports did a video. I talked about players that were drafted in the second round. They're going to do damage and make teams regret. Carson Edwards is one of those guys. What a draft pick. And why not? You add in another guard that has the potential to be a contributor. And that's the big thing. I'm not saying borderline all-star or anything like that. But I'm talking about guys that could potentially be big six men of the future, which is a critical position on teams now, has always been, but more in the forefront now. Tremont Waters, Carson Edwards, and then you had Romeo Langford, who's really getting his hop step going. He's trying to get his groove back. I mean, come on, guys. The Celtics, Danny Ainge is doing well. He has assets. He's doing so many things well. You've got to love a guy that plays chess with this ball game, and that's what he does. He's playing chess. So I think, no offense, even with the loss of Kyrie Irving, with what they returned back with draft picks and player movements, I think they're equal. How about that? I think they're equal to where they were at last year from a guard position. Plus, you bring back your big defensive guard in Marcus Smart. Okay? Great job by Danny Ainge. This team is very scary. I didn't even mention Jaylen Brown, who's going to be my biggest X factor. Let's just get into it. If this team wants to take it to the next level, if this team wants to compete against Milwaukee, even though I don't think they have the size to, Milwaukee's just sick. I mean, they're the best team on the East on paper. I mean, they're nuts. I love their lineup. But if they want to compete, the guy they're going to have to rely on, even they just gave him a contract, Jaylen Brown, it's up to you, my friend. I think he has the most upside. He's going to have to prove himself with the minutes that he has and be fruitful. Guy that comes to mind to me with Jaylen Brown, again, I'm older, Mike Finley, okay? Mike Finley type of player. Can he be that? He's explosive. He can be the defensive guard that anchors guarding your best player on your other squad because it's forward heavy with Kawhi Leonard and, Paul George, LeBron James, on and on, right? Can he be that guy? I think he can, all right? Jaylen Brown is a critical piece, and we have to see what we get out of him. I know he's distraught because, again, they drafted so many guards. They're going to have to play a lot of small ball, run the ball up the floor, and it'll be interesting what they can get out of Jaylen Brown if he buys into the system. But he's another player they add on that, they're just loaded from the guard position. Very scary if they can get these guys going. So they lost Al Horford, and they lost outside shooting from a big guy. However, there are big guys on this team, okay? They got a slew of them that can kind of shoot from the outside. They're not going to take off the edge that they have as far as being able to have one guy do it all. But in spots, they can do damage. We talked about Semi Ojeleye. Okay, he's one of those guys, all right, who can stretch. I don't know how many minutes he'll see, but he's one of those guys. Grant Williams is another one of those guys. Again, 6'7", 6'8", wide body. Again, another guy that can stretch the floor. Those two players are really going to have to be efficient. And you add in Javonte Green, a guy who also looked tremendous in the summer league, the all-purpose athlete who could potentially be something special if he continues with his progression. And special doesn't need to be all-star anymore. There's too much talent in the NBA. Being a contributor 5 to 8 minutes and being efficient in what you do is a huge plus for a team. Okay? 6.6 rebounds with 0 turnovers. How about that? How about those stat lines? Okay? That's what Javonte Green could potentially bring as an added addition for the squad. All right? Now, as we've gone through it, looking at this team and their rank, you go, okay, where do they fit in as far as the grand scheme of things from teams? Are they going to be able to make a championship run this year? They have all the tools. It matters how the eggs lay. It matters how the game is played. Can this team beat the Milwaukee Bucks? Yes, they can beat the Milwaukee Bucks. It matters what style they play, okay? They're actually going to have to outshoot Milwaukee, which I think is going to be tough. I think Milwaukee has a slew of guards, a slew of a front court that is probably one of the most deadly in NBA history. I mean, it's scary looking at the front court for the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's interesting to see what we'll get out of that team. The other big thing is you got to take a peek. You got to take a peek at Taco Fall, right? You lose some of your defensive prowess. How does Taco Fall fit into things? What does he become for this team? Is he potentially the next superstar that they're going to have to work on, a super big man to be able to alleviate some of the pain you get with losing Al Horford from a defensive perspective? Him and Robert Williams, Taco Fall may be critical in the playoffs. 4 or 5 minutes a game is all you need. Just disrupt it, Taco. Disrupt the game. That's all you need to do. His size is all that's needed. I hate to say when size matters, this is true. I'm 6'5". They think 6'5" matters. 7'5" really matters, okay? 6'5" is probably the entry point. 7'5" really matters. And he's a great player. I think if he was on the right team, he could average 10 and 8. But he's not going to be able to do it. There's too many players on his team. He's going to have a more special role, and I think that's an opportunity for him to show himself and maybe in the next couple of years get another chance with another team. And it probably bodes well for his feet as well. Big men of his size always suffer from leg injuries. Now, with all that said, what do I got him ranked after all that talking? And Brad Wanamaker's there again, another big defensive guard. I hate to just brush him off, but he's there as well. I haven't seen him too much. We'll see what he get. Daniel Tice also is one of those big, wily, big men that's learning to shoot the three, but again, is going to be able to protect the ball and be able to get his team in good position from a defensive perspective. So where do I see the Celtics? Okay, Boston Celtics to me. You're going to hear it here first. Milwaukee's number 1. All right, we're going to have the Boston Celtics. Okay. Number 2, it's tough, isn't it? Oh my God, I gotta go with Miami Heat. I gotta go with a Florida team for the number 2 slot. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Miami Heat at 2, and I'm gonna go with the Boston Celtics as the number 3 team in the East. So we shall see what we get, but I got them slide there. I'm excited. Off Work Sports giving you the review of the Boston Celtics. I like what I see. The number 3 team in the East fighting over the Sixers. Be interesting for the play. Will they make it happen? This year's their year. Maybe. Off Work. I'm out. Peace.